Hello, how are you? All right?
Roll up, ladies and gentlemen, for the fascist freak show! Roll up, to the house of smoke and mirrors! Roll up, ladies and gentlemen!
Just go to the people that don't believe.
Roll up, ladies and gentlemen!
Oh, we've been blocked.
The two-faced man! Bigot in town!
Don't touch me! Get your hands off me!
Stop looking into me, right?
No, you put your hand out.
How are you going by?
Let's talk about this.
What is Nigel Farage willing to say for money? We've scoured more than 4,000 videos, sold by Farage on the personalised messaging app Cameo. They include videos in which the leader of Reform UK repeats a far-right slogan,
"Remember, if in doubt, kick 'em out."
was misogynistic,
If you're simpering for Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez's big naturals.
he was even paid to make a video endorsing a neo-Nazi event.
Road rage terror tour is the best thing that ever happened.
Nigel Farage is a far-right politician. Some of the states may not know who he is, so let me just give you a very, very quick rundown. At a young age, his teachers said that he sang youth Hitler songs. That is who that man is. He has allegedly used the N-word, per Alan Sked, saying they'll never vote for us, while using a racial slur. Farage claimed that parts of Great Britain were unrecognizable and, quote, like a foreign land. He had also said he felt awkward when he heard people speaking other languages on the train. This is reminiscent of this far-right rhetoric that we are experiencing stateside. This is what Trump and many in the MAGA base are practically putting forth, which is Nazism dog whistles. This is all falling under the umbrella of great replacement theory. That is what this is. In addition, during the EU referendum, this is via hopenohate.org. They do great, hopenothate.org, excuse me. They do really good stuff, and I've used their stuff previously as well. He produced the infamous Breaking Point poster, which was widely compared to Nazi propaganda. He refused to say sorry for it, because that's the way that the right operates. He has clamored to the Jewish lobby and gone forth with the New World Order, plus the threat of globalist government. He described George Soros, a Jewish philanthropist, as a regular target of conspiratorial anti-Semitism as the biggest danger to the entire Western world. And when Jewish groups condemned his comments, he dismissed them as pathetic. He is a bigot. Flat out, unadulterated bigot. He cuts promos for Nazi groups. He's a climate denier. He hates black and brown people. Here's the thing.
Nigel Farage has outraged fans by visiting Ipswich Town this week. But what's really going on here? Farage has been blasted on social media for the stunt, but this is not the first time he's got involved in football. His party Reform UK are a limited company, and Farage and spokesman Zia Youssef are directors. Last year they sold over 5,000 football shirts, costing £40 each. And all over the UK, they have stickers being plastered over stadiums with slogans like "Stop the Boats." But why? Not only are they making a lot of money, this is not about appealing to genuine fans. It's a cynical attempt to win votes by a party who say we should keep politics out of football. Because who are the football fans that Farage is appealing to? It's based on a meaningless class stereotype that dates back to the 1980s. But here's the big issue with his plan. Polling shows that football fans actually support the causes that he opposes, like players taking the knee and wearing armbands to support the LGBT community. And at Ipswich, almost a third of their players were born outside of the UK. What's more, the FA has also defended plans to ensure that a quarter of the England men's coaching staff are from black or Asian communities, after Reform MP Suella Braverman called them woke nonsense. And that's why
Ipswich Town, a club in England, decided to host him. And Farage would even put out, I've never been too bad on the right wing, ha ha ha. The usual idiots defended it.
Where's the issue? The commentary that's been put forward is, why did you put him there? Now, I would imagine that comes from a group of people that don't particularly like his politics. If it had been a different politician, if their argument is, and I'll make the centre point about this, if you're saying to me the people that have commented on this are commenting on the position of we don't want politics near sport, I will be entirely in their camp. But I'm willing to wager you that it's people that have a different political leaning than the ones that are...
Polanski of the Green Party.
Yes.
You'd be saying, how dare they? How dare they?
But I've just said it, haven't I? What's your point? I've just turned around and said to you...
You're saying you'd have a different narrative if it was...
There's no... Why would I have a
Would you have a different
narrative?
narrative?
Well, the narrative is, I don't want any political party next to it. And if my explanation...
Any of them?
If my... I just
So
said that.
Badenoch shouldn't be going
I
near
said that
it.
from the outset. No, they can go and rent a room. Why can't they rent a room? So if they go and rent a room in a hotel and have a meeting in it, are you going to suggest that the hotel should be boycotted by everyone that doesn't like that particular hotel?
You know why Reform and Farage pitched up at Portman Road yesterday?
I don't
Not
actually.
to rent a room, come and go, nobody saw them.
Well, I do now.
And off they go into...
Well, I do now, don't I?
They wanted to utilise it.
But I do know
and
now.
sing from the rooftops where they were.
But the question is not what I know, it's what Ipswich knew. I'm not the one that's in the firing line for allowing them to rent a room or to have a tour of a stadium. So if Ipswich Town tell you that we weren't aware this is what we're going to do, that we're going to do this, and we're not happy that they've potentially done it, which is effectively what they're saying.
Like that guy, Simon Jordan, who is just really, as far as I can see from the pieces that we have done and featured, what he has said on TalkSport, like centrist, right-leaning centrist sort of guy. I remember when the John Terry fiasco came out, because I was researching a piece that I'm going to put up on my independent channel. It was him saying, well, you know, Anton Ferdinand is in the wrong, but so is John Terry. That's who Simon Jordan is. That's the way he goes about his business. With Farage, this is the same man who posted, keep politics out of football. My, oh my, the hypocrisy. One user even wrote, this is PR suicide for a family club.
I find it so funny and ironic that Nigel Farage is using football as a political campaigning tool, as demonstrated here with this post at him at Portman Road, Ipswich Town Stadium, which I imagine is going to create a bit of a PR nightmare for the tractor boys. Now, personally, I do not care that Nigel Farage is using football in this way, because I personally believe that football very much belongs in politics. It's just Nigel Farage who historically has not believed that to be the case. You might remember during Euro 2020 that Nigel Farage was one of many right-wing figures that had a complete and utter hissy fit over England footballers taking the knee as a protest against racism, repeatedly describing it as a divisive gesture linked to a Marxist movement. Now, people who do tend to think that an anti-racist gesture is divisive do tend to be, you know, racist, and also it is somewhat laughable to think that a group of multimillionaires are all secret Marxists, just imagining Harry Kane at half-time reading Das Kapital to the rest of the team. Since then, however, Farage has changed his tune, as you might remember that Farage and Reform UK unveiled football shirts clearly showing that they now believe that politics belongs in football. Well, their politics at least. Also, from what I understand with these football shirts, extra large sold out first. Make of that what you will. Look, I reiterate what I said at the start. I do not care that football is being used by politicians in this way. What I do care about is the lack of consistency from the likes of Nigel Farage, who clearly believes that the only politics that belongs in football is his own.
I agree with all that. Then the morons showed up. Emily Hubertson, a troll, posted online, if you're offended by a major politician visiting a football ground, I suggest you grow up. Well, Emily. Were you also the same person who tweeted, politics has nothing to do with football, that's how it should be? Which one is it? Which one is it? You can't have it both ways. Do you want it out? Or is it okay? Or is it just okay when you guys do it?
There were reports initially that Ipswich didn't know anything about this, which is complete and utter bollocks. You can't possibly tell in that picture, but all these shirts here say Farage on the back. So this clearly isn't just some sneaky thing that they've done, and he has since said that he was invited to go to the ground by Ipswich themselves. But if that's not bad enough, the statements that Ipswich released afterwards is just absolutely shameful. So this is the statement they put out. I'm not going to read out the whole thing, but these are the two bits which caught my eye. The club remains apolitical and does not support or endorse any individual or party. They say after printing out multiple shirts which said Farage 10 on the back and let him record a party political broadcast at Portman Road. Yeah, good one, lads. And then the other thing, this is absolutely disgraceful. Ipswich Town is proud to be an inclusive, diverse and welcoming organisation that supports all members of the local and wider community. Did the person who wrote this suffer a brain injury?
Good stuff here as well. Kevin Craig of Labour, who, by the way, I do not like. I want to be very clear about this. We need more Corbyns and less Starmers. Craig wrote, very confused that the board of Ipswich Town have hesitated and are still hesitating to let a local business, mine, become a regional sponsor and give thousands of pounds to ITFC Foundation because they are worried about being political. And then yesterday happens. I'm afraid it makes the club look politically aligned at the worst or naive/disjointed at best. Sad as feel very invested in the club and its mission and values. Pinky would also chime in with a good message. I don't remember any other club being granted access to the stadium to film a party political message. What a piss weak statement. It's made it even worse for you. Lastly, from Daniel. I don't know how those high up at Ipswich could possibly think that complicity or otherwise, allowing a political party to film an advertisement in the stadium, discuss the manager, hold up the shirt, and display sponsors' names wouldn't be widely viewed as tacit endorsement. Once more, I say this. It's not that they want politics out of sports. It's that they want dissenting politics out of sports and or those that they don't agree with. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.